Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be going over which mansion you should buy in GTA Online. Now, in the new Mansions DLC, Rockstar has added 3 mansion properties that are available to be purchased. In fact, you can actually buy all 3 of them if you want to. But in this video, we're going to be talking about which location is actually best if you can only get one right now. Now, the 3 mansion locations are the Tongva Valley Estate, the Richmond Villa, and the Vinewood Residence that you guys can see here marked on the map on screen. This is a brief overview of what each of those mansions look like from the outside, and we're going to be breaking down which location is the best, again, if you can only purchase one right now. Now, starting off with the Tongva Valley Estate, formerly or more widely known as Devin Weston's mansion, this one undoubtedly has the best view of the ocean. It has a nice view of the highway and the surrounding hills as well, and it feels the most private out of all of the mansion locations that we have. It's also the cheapest, coming in at $11,500,000 for the base price without upgrades, and of course that's not counting the discount if you have it available to you for completing those 3 listings missions. And if you do have that discount, this will only cost you $9,500,000 initially. Now, the biggest problem with the Tongva Valley Estate is just how far out of the way it is, especially in comparison to the other 2 mansions that we have available. It's a nice one to have if you want something a little bit more exclusive and off the beaten path. Now, something to keep in mind too is that we do have the ability to fast travel using the mansions. It's one of the new features that comes with these properties. And you're able to fast travel to every other owned property you have in GTA Online. So if you're simply using this to set as your spawn location, there really won't be much back and forth driving you're going to have to be concerned with when it comes to getting to this mansion. So you probably won't exactly get tired of having to come and go from this mansion because most of the time you're probably going to be fast traveling anyways. Now, of course, this is the mansion that the other 2 are based off of, making it the least unique and fresh feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, it has been updated a little bit. They added the rooftop area, some solar panels, and other details around the property. But overall, I feel like this one feels the least special out of all of the mansion locations. For me, that makes this mansion land in last place. However, I do still own it and I do plan to use it and visit it relatively often still. I think it's nice to have the option to have it regardless. And if you're on a budget, I don't necessarily think you'll regret buying this mansion. I just don't think that you'll love it as much as you would probably love another mansion location in the long run. Next up, of course, we have the Richmond Estate. This one will cost you $12,800,000 or $10,800,000 if you use your discount on it. This is the first of the 2 new additions to the map, and this one is located just north of the university and conveniently right beside Minnie Madrazo's house where the Cayo Perico heist finale cutscene takes place. I've seen a lot of people saying that this one has the better view out of the 2 in the city, and I kind of agree, but I also kind of disagree. I think you can see further with this one, but there's a lot of ugly sort of rooftops in your field of view when you're looking out at the city. The only other thing with this mansion is that it's not very high up, especially compared to Devin Weston's or the Vinewood Residence, so I feel like you lose a little bit of your view because of that. However, this location is definitely contestable for being the best, especially being located right next to a major route to go north or south on the map via Tongva Drive, the wide highway-like road that goes up towards Fort Zancudo or down towards Del Perro. I do feel like this mansion kind of suffers from being overly similar to Devin Weston's house though, and I am aware they're all based on Devin Weston's house as the initial mansion, but this one really feels no different. It's just in a different spot. It's even got the same water feature that appears at Devin Weston's house, but they took a massive creative liberty and turned the circles of the water feature into squares. Being that this is the most expensive mansion out of all 3 of them, I personally hope for a little bit more in the way of uniqueness, but regardless, I still like the house. However, the final location is the Vinewood Residence, the most unique out of the 3 pretty easily. I kind of figured that there was a reason that Rockstar didn't show us this mansion in any of the teasers or screenshots before the DLC was actually released. And that reason is that this mansion wasn't just a carbon copy of the other 2, there's a fairly decently sized change with this home comparatively. Rockstar decided to throw a pond in the middle of this mansion, which doesn't sound like the craziest change ever, but it helps to make it feel a little bit more unique and a little bit more special. While it also keeps the same pool and deck features, it just rotates them around and kind of moves them to give it a little bit more of a unique silhouette and a different layout. And I think this significantly improves the look of the mansion overall, and I think a certain degree of uniqueness is important when it comes to a house like this, and this one is by far the most unique. Now, the other thing that I really like about this location is that it's right in between 3 major routes to go south or north on the map. Just slightly west of the house, we have the road that goes past the Sisyphus Theater and into Sandy Shores. And on the east, we have Sonora Road that goes past Martin Madrazo's ranch and heads past Redwood Lights into Harmony or takes you down into Los Santos. And then just beyond that, of course, we have the highway that goes past the casino and down into downtown Los Santos or up past the prison in Sandy Shores. This highway is arguably the best route across the entire map, so being in between all 3 of these routes, you're going to be able to get to wherever you want to go pretty quickly in comparison to the other 2 locations for the mansions. Another great part about this house is that it also kind of doesn't really have any neighbors. Similarly to Devin Weston's house, and certainly very different from the Richmond Villa location that's right beside Minnie Madrazo's house and surrounded by a ton of other houses. Now, this isn't to say that I don't have any issues with the Vinewood residence. The Vinewood Bowl being right beneath the Vinewood residence, a gigantic concrete structure and massive parking lot right below the deck isn't exactly ideal, and I don't really think it's very good looking. However, I also do think that it can largely be ignored. Unless you're standing right at the edge of the deck, you really won't notice it all that much because it's just out of your view, and that's because this mansion, it just sits so high up on the hill. Being that this mansion costs $600,000 less than the Richmond location at $12,200,000 or $10,200,000 if you use the discount on it, I think it really is the best value for your money. Now, honestly guys, out of all of them, I think the biggest thing that you should keep in mind before buying one of the mansions is making sure that you have the closest and best location in relation to where the majority of your other properties and businesses are located. For example, I own the farmhouse bunker, as well as most of my businesses being on the eastern side of Los Santos, so for me, the Vinewood residence makes the most sense. It was a no-brainer for me, and it's going to be my main mansion for the rest of the time that I play GTA Online. It's right in between the farmhouse bunker, it's right in between my nightclub, my auto shop, my arcade, a bunch of other businesses that I own. And for any of you guys that are wondering which mansion location you should buy, I would advise you to get the one that is closest to the rest of your businesses. Now, like I said earlier, you can fast travel to pretty much any property you own using the mansion, so being that close doesn't really matter all that much. But at the end of the day, if you needed to get to your mansion quickly from one of your businesses, you probably want it to be a little bit closer. And if you can save 30 seconds, even 1 minute on that drive, that'll add up in the long run. Obviously, do whatever's best for yourselves, but I think that objectively, based on location alone, the Vinewood residence is probably the best location, given how close it is to major routes around San Andreas for land vehicles. I really hope you guys found this video useful or informative. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel if you guys are new. I'm going to be covering everything to do with mansions. Got more videos coming out today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.